Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, Crackhead with a Microphone, the only podcast in the world where you hand a crackhead a microphone and you listen to him talk until you wonder if you are the high one. My name is KaRok Dizzle. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is my first episode, guys. I want to thank you all for listening. I do want to tell you guys a fun story. I'm going to try to tell a fun story every episode. And today's first story is going to be the story of how I got my very first job. I think everyone has that odd first job story. Most people, they get a job at like McDonald's, some fast food joint, some type of retail joint, and they go through the normal job process and they learn a lot through that job process. But my first job experience was a little off. So I want to take it back to the year. I think I was like 15, so like not even, probably like 14, and it was somewhere between there, 14, 15, or 16. Probably like 14 or 15. And school had just let out for the summer. I was vibing hard in my bedroom. It was like we went to school that Friday. That was the last day of school. Saturday, Sunday, I was chilling. Monday, I'm chilling in my bed. Just woke up and everything. And I hear a knock on my door, right? Doot, 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 doot. I'm like, hello? My mom opens the door and says straight to me, Karan, get up. You gotta go to work. Mm, what? Work? I ain't apply for a job. I was sitting there confused to the highest degree. Um, so yeah, I'm like, work. What are you talking about? She like, no, get dressed. You gotta go to work. I'm like, you saying this like I know what's happening. Like, I got a job. She like, yes. When did I get a job? You don't really expect stuff like that to be happening. I think my mom I thought she was trying to trick me to go to summer camp because she knew I ain't like going to summer camps. I hate summer camps with a passion. Summer camps were like the worst thing. That's a whole nother episode, honestly. Like I could go for like an hour telling y'all about the summer camp experiences I've had. So I'm like, yo, she gotta be finessing me. Like if we going to camp, just say that. So I'm like, do I got a uniform? Like what like I'm panicking. I'm like, do I gotta put on like slacks? I'm about to put my school pants on. She like, just get dressed. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I put on regular clothes, get in the car, and she's taking me to the summer camp. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I knew it. I knew it. I'm like, you ain't have to lie to me. So she drops me off. She's like, oh, go here. Da, 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 they gonna tell you what to do. So I walk in and they're like, oh, who's working here? They're like separating the kids that are working there from like the teenagers that are the kids that are going there for camp from the teenagers that are working there. So I go to where I'm working because apparently I got a job, which who the fuck was gonna tell me? Um and I'm like, what is happening? Like I'm so confused. Everyone here looks so confident, like they know what's happening. I'm like, I don't know. Where am I? Like, it's 8 in the morning. I ain't eat nothing. I'm around the corner from a fucking McDonald's. Like, I'm in this church. There's also a camp that got a backyard. I'm so lost. And the lady starts talking to us, talk about, oh well, you get $100 a week, and da 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 da. And she's giving us the whole spiel about, oh, you'll be stationed at certain joints with the kids throughout the day versus where they go. Everybody got to come watch them during lunch, and then during their like playtime, that's when you guys go on break. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening? And then the part that fucked me up is she's like telling us all of that, and then she goes, any of y'all know how to play chess? So me being the you know awkward, confused, sleepy, hungry kid I am, I like half raise my hand because I'm not even sure if I heard her right. Because why she just randomly bring up chess? There has to be some type of it has to be something wrong there. And she goes, "Oh, okay, you know how to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not that good, but like I know the rules." She's like, "Great, great, great. So you gonna be in the chess room because we don't got nobody for that." The what? Y'all got a chess room? This is a kid with like kindergartners through fourth graders, and y'all got the blurted chess. Some I don't know, man. Some about that didn't sit right with me. Probably the fact that I ain't had no food yet. I be real mad when I don't get no food, bro. It's like it's 8:30 in the morning. The fuck am I up awake for? It's summer, so we doing that. She puts me in the chess room, and then I go there. This one dude and like another girl there, and they were like, "Oh hey, like you in here with us?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's happening? Like, I'm confused. And they started was on, oh well, kids will come in here. We'll just make sure they playing by the rules. Blah, 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 blah. They ain't answer my question because my question was my question basically boiled down to: did y'all also not apply for a job and get hired here, or am I somehow special? So after that happens, I'm sitting in a room and we're just chatting, waiting for the first group of kids. And they come in and we're just like, oh, this how you play. Do y'all know how to play? And some did, some didn't. We paired them off and they played chess. And it was like 45 minutes. So that was pretty much it. Like 45 minutes, group of kids, next group of kids come in, they play chess, next group of kids. We do that until lunch. After lunch, take a break, and then I think we had one group of kids after like our break was over. So it was easy. The only horrible part was like watching the kids during lunch because these kids were just like rowdy and just roasting me. Like they'd be like, "Oh, look at you! You're not gonna do nothing to us." Like they talk about something. What if we throw food at you? I'm like, why can't just eat your food? Like why are y'all antagonizing? Like I'm not even doing anything. I'm literally just standing here. I'm like, hey, just make sure everything chilling. Anybody need something? Just let me know. Yo, so you're not my parent. So if I throw this apple at you, what you gonna do? Bro, y'all are 7. Like, leave me alone. I don't even want to be here. I don't know why I'm here. I'm just that's just that I was angry. I was like angry. What also had me mad was the lunch was outside. Like it was an outdoor like cafeteria situation. Like it was like picnic benches. But this is like Philly during the summer. Which isn't as hot as the South. I don't want a bunch of niggas from Virginia and down south talk about, oh, that ain't really hot. Y'all don't know real heat. Y'all don't know real heat. Cause one, shut up. And two, y'all got 2 inches of snow, and I'm pretty sure Texas got 2 inches of snow. The entire state shut down. I don't want to hear they don't know. We don't know real heat when they don't know how to handle precipitation. That's not water. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. It was hot. Just accept the fact that it was hot. It was 100 plus. We all know that 100 plus is hot. I don't care how hot the 100 plus was. I don't care if it was 102, 110, 120. It's just hot. We standing out there and they got these kids eating fucking soft peaches, warm tuna sandwiches, and chocolate milk. I'm glad I had to eat them lunches. I'm glad they paid me. They paid me. I was in McDonald's and what other store was it? I think it was like a KFC around there. I wasn't them joints faithfully because I wasn't eating that. I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking chocolate milk in 102 degrees. Anyway, back to the story. So these kids were just gremlins. Like I swear, goblins. No Tyler. um, but yeah, that was the worst part of every day because they would really just try to bully me, knowing I can't really yell at them or anything. And another part that was shady about this job too, that I didn't even realize until like after a week, because they paid us $100 on Friday. They're like, yeah, you got $100. It was like $20 every day, and I'm like, that's not minimum wage. Like, no, I'm working 8 hours a day for 5 days a week for $100. Like, who do I talk to about this? And I had told my mom, I was like, Mom, we don't get paid a minimum wage. She's like, what you mean? I'm like, we get $100 a week. She like, okay. I'm like, no, and I showed her the numbers. I'm like, shouldn't I be making this? And she like, well, you got to take into account taxes. I'm like, taxes? What am I paying taxes for? She was like, everybody got to pay taxes. And I was like, ain't that for people who can't vote? Who can vote? She like, what you mean? I'm like, I can't vote on anything. I'm not 18. So what am I paying taxes for? Don't even worry about that. You getting paid. Be grateful. You signed me up for a job that's ripping me off? I swear, my mom be having me be mad at her sometimes. Cause you supposed to be on my side of this situation. They are ripping off your child. They literally taking money from your child. And you talk about some be grateful. I could have been asleep. I could have been asleep all summer. But you had me working at this 102 summer camp, standing their kids, throwing the poor chocolate milk on me. You could hear the passion in my voice because I was really upset. Then after every day, I would go to my grandma's house because my grandma's house wasn't far from the camp. It was like a bus ride. And it wouldn't have been that bad if the 23 ever came on time. Oh my god, for those of y'all not familiar, in the city of Philadelphia, we have what's called SEPTA, which is the Southeastern Public Transportation Association. They control the buses, the trains, that all of that. These dudes are the worst. I promise you, these dudes are the worst. The buses do not come on time. They will ride past you. These trains don't come on time. They be overcrowded. Like a few years ago, they gave every bus Wi-Fi. Who did that help? Nobody. Can y'all get? Can y'all could have just had more buses? They upgraded the buses to have Wi-Fi and upgraded the little card scanner system for our payment system. Because our payment system, we got to use these SEPTA cards. You load money onto them. It's kind of like the Metro card. Because I know that's the more popular analogy. It's basically our version of that. You put money on it, you scan, you get on a bus or a train or whatever. They upgraded the system that takes money from us, but didn't actually upgrade the buses, except giving it Wi-Fi. The fucking shittiest Wi-Fi in history. Like we got 5G and 4G data. You giving us Wi-Fi that don't let us do more than download a picture in 20 minutes. Like, come on now, keep up with the times. I can't even DM my mans on Instagram and let them know I'm on the way on this set the Wi-Fi. I still gotta turn my shit off. So what are we doing here? Y'all could have just built more buses or hired better drivers. I don't understand. Well, once again, I'm rambling. See, this is the problem with me having a podcast. I feel like I ramble too much, but I also feel like the rambles be funnier than the original story. I don't know. I guess I gotta get comments on whether y'all like my rambles or not. But yeah, that was my first job. It wasn't much to that. And my second job was the worst. Well, it was worse. It wasn't the worst, but it was worse. And the reason it was worse is it was at another summer camp. It was like the very next year. But one, it was under the Work Ready Philadelphia program. So before I even got the job, it was like pretty much the exact opposite of the first job. Whereas that, my mom just picked me up. Hey, you got a job. I didn't even know I had a job. I'm doing like 3 weeks worth of shit before I even get to the job. They got me walking to this one joint. I gotta sit in the auditorium, listen to all the rules of the different parks, and it was so much. Then they had me fill out like the fucking most amount of paperwork I've ever seen. Then they gave us these like prepaid debit cards, but they're like, oh, you got to take the money out of an ATM. It like you can't use the card in most stores. I'm like, why would you give us a card that we can't use in most stores? What sense do that make? You won't force me to go to an ATM and pay an ATM fee? Doesn't make any sense. It was like I swear those for the 3 weeks was horrible. And I knew this was going to be a bad job because they were like, oh, some of the camps got pools, but none of the workers are allowed to swim in the pool. No worker can swim in the pool. They talk about some none of the workers can swim in the pool with the kids because some worker had like slipped and they had a major lawsuit. So now no workers are allowed in the pool. So while every kid is in the pool, we just got to sit there outside the pool area watching the kids, and the lifeguards is responsible for the kids. I'm like, if the lifeguard responsible, why are we sitting there? Why are we sitting there? So we that's even before we get the job. Then we get assigned to our camp, and my camp is like a mile and a half walk every day. Every day I had to walk a mile and a half. But you know what? I ain't even pressed about it. I'm not even pressed. So I walk there every day in the heat, and I get to the camp. It is 8 workers at this camp, right? 3 kids. 3 kids. And we sitting in this basically what is a caddy shack. We sitting in this shack. It got a playground, no AC, no nothing. We just sit there for 8 hours. Baby play Uno. Man, when I say we were bored, we were bored, bro. Like I don't think I've ever been around 8 people. Not even eight. It was the 8 workers. Well, I was one of them. So 7 workers, 3 kids, and a counselor, a junior counselor, and like the senior counselor. But we ain't never see her. She sat in her office. I'm pretty sure her office had AC, and that's why she never came out. She only came out her office when it was when somebody was paying money. When it was time to collect some money, she came out. Other than that, she sat in there. It was like, "Oh, you guys having fun?" Yo, I would have beat her ass, bro. Like she was the epitome of somebody who needed to get her ass beat. But though the worst part about that was the worst part about this job was one of the kids that eventually came because we gained another kid because the playground and the pool were like public for anyone who didn't go to the camp. The camp was basically just you sit in the shack with us and have access to the board games, which all had missing pieces and nobody knew how to play. So basically, there was no benefit to being at the camp except you just sat here all day. So some other kids are swimming and on the playground and stuff. And one kid, he walks in. He's like wet, towel, no shirt. Like clearly he just came from the pool. And he's crying. And we're like, like what is happening? We all look at each other like perplexed. And we're like, you good? And he's like, I can't find my grandma. I can't find her. She left me. I'm like, this kid crying got on my nerves like instantly. He had like the most annoying cry ever. And I know y'all probably gonna be like, oh my god, he just a kid. Like don't be like that. But I'm really gonna be like that because this kid was annoying. Like in the 5 minutes we were around him, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be around him no more. So we're like, oh no, just chill here. Like your grandma, she couldn't have gone far. Like I doubt your grandma left you at the swimming pool. Like but he 8. I think he was 8. He was just a kid. So it's like, we just try to get him to calm down. We're like, yo, bro, it's cool. Then his grandma walks in. She was like, y'all see my grandson? Y'all see my grandson? So she sees him. She's like, oh, you here? She's like, yeah, I just walked away real quick. Like, it's cool. We're like, yeah, they reunited. And then she stops and she looks around. And I kid you not, I don't know what the fuck she looked at because she seen 8 teenagers, 3 kids in a caddy shack with no AC and said, "This is summer camp." When I tell you the fucking counselor that always be in her office popped out so quick, yes, ma'am, this is a summer camp, and she start rattling off all the benefits like a game show host. She sound like Bob Barker on The Price Is Right. Talk about something. We have this, and this, lying through her teeth, by the way, because we ain't had none of that. She was talking about we have activities every day. Was a lie. Said we go on field trips every week. Was a lie. Said we interact with other camps. Was a whole lie. We only did one thing with the other camps, and it was horrible. Like she started lying through her fucking face, bro. And then she's like, "Oh, the grandma's like, oh, it costs money." She's like, "Yeah, such and such a week, but it's 200 for the whole summer." Yo, this grandma literally pulled $200 out her wallet, looked at her grandson, said, "I'll pick you up at 3," and left. I said, "Yo, she don't even like her grandson. She was wilding for that. I've never seen a woman so excitedly leave her child somewhere. Like she must have genuinely did not like her grandson, or I guess not say did not like, but she clearly was tired of being around him. Because in the same way that I was tired of being around him for 5 minutes, she was dealing with that every day. So she just left him. Like she really paid someone to take her kid, and it was crazy. Her grandson looking confused as hell. Like what? And she skirt. She pulled off, bro. So now we looking at him, and he looking at us, and we like, welcome to the summer camp. You like swimming? Because they go swimming every day. And he's like, well, what do you guys do? Yeah, we gotta look at him. Because that lady basically rattled off every single fucking anemone we don't have. And then we gotta look this kid in his face and be like, yeah, your grandma just pawned you off based on a lie, bro. Like, and in all honesty, I probably would have felt bad for him if he wasn't so annoying, bro. Like he was the worst. He was the type of kid where when you play Monopoly and he gotta pay money, he would purposely only give you 500s just so he could get change back because he didn't understand the concept that he was still losing money. So now he got the banker, which was me, dealing with all these fucking hundreds and fifties because he don't want to give exact change. Bro, you sitting over there with a gazillion fifties. Stop handing me 500s. Like, oh my god. He's like, no, I gotta get my change back. I'm getting more money. He didn't understand concepts, bro. Like it just basic reality did not click for him. So it was hard talking to him about stuff. Like we had to explain to him that like you can't change you gotta go with the flow in Uno. It gotta be the same color or number. You can't put down a random card, you know? And like on the one hand, it's like, maybe he had like, he didn't learn a lot of this stuff. Maybe he had learned disability. But on the other hand, they always stuck him with me when it came time to partner off on stuff. Like, bro, they're like, yeah, he likes you. I'm like, I don't like him. Like, what? Like, I feel like this not an even trade. So that ended up happening. And, it was more the same every day until one day the main counselor comes up and is like, "Yeah, there's like a contest with the other camps, and we all have to come up with a play about fire safety, and we all have to go perform the plays at like this community center in like Philly, and the best team wins like I don't know, the best team won something. Now, no, when I said we had like those 3 weeks of training beforehand, those 3 weeks of training weren't just our camp. That was with every camp in the city. So we all knew them other camps got like hundreds of kids and mad staff members. Their plays are gonna be mad elaborate. We got 4 kids, and no, the counselors aren't allowed to be a part of these plays. It literally is just a play with all the kids. We gotta come up with a play about fire safety with 4 people, and one of them is just not he not there. So this was clearly a problem, like the biggest problem. And we're all looking like, what do you do? What do we do? We ain't had no money for props or nothing. Cause I feel like what was supposed to happen was the money that like we drew from having kids was supposed to go towards us having props and stuff. But because we only had 4 kids, which is a total of $800, and our counselor bought a ping pong table at one point, I don't think we had much in the way of like, a ladder, which other teams did. Honestly, it was horrible. So I said, I came up with 2 ideas. I said, one, let's steal a plot from a cartoon that all the kids seen, so that way they don't got to emulate much in the way of scripts. Two, let's try to get last place on purpose, so that way we don't got to perform this again. That's what it was. First place got to perform some type of national competition for their joint. We wasn't doing that. So we said, let's purposely try to get last. Boom. So we all thinking of ideas. We're thinking. I'm like, anybody got anything? They're like, no. And I'm like, all right, bet. Well, what if we just did like What if we just did like a trivia contest? Like Bull's walking in the park and he triggers a trivia contest. It was like that regular show episode. It had just came out at the time. I forgot which episode it was, but it was basically the one where Rigby he was like, "Oh, you must know a lot about this," and he was like, "Yeah, I know a lot about it," and it turns into a game show. It's like a game show on the spot. It was like that. Something like Billy on the. I guess like a really over the top version of Billy on the Street. Does anybody know Billy on the Street? Is that still like a thing? Like, is that a relevant pop culture reference, or am I dating myself? I seem old. I'm 22. Anyway, so we come up with the play. Do 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 do. Boom. So we doing it. We practicing it every day. We practice it like once every day because it ain't much. Just like, oh, here's three basic fire safety questions. Oh, you win the contest. You know a lot about fire safety. Yay. We're like, yeah, bro, this is so ass. We're definitely getting last place on this. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody hype. Everybody hype. We happy. Day of the play comes. We all hop in the van. The counselor drives us. We sitting there. We watching the plays. We watching the plays. We watching the plays. And then everybody's play is worse. When I tell you these were some of the like, not even worse by like the standard of they were worse than ours, but just like they clearly put the same amount of effort in as us, but because they had so many kids, you could tell how low this was. Like we had 4 kids, so it's like it was very clear from the offset that it was going to be something basic because it's 4 of us. It's 4 of them. Then you got plays with like 20 kids. Oh no, it's a fire! Stop, drop, and roll. It was horrible. It was bad. We were sitting there, we were genuinely like panicking. We're like, oh my god, we're gonna get first and we're gonna have to perform this on a national stage. This is horrible. This is the worst thing that ever happened. I want to die. Like that's pretty much everyone's thought. Then a saving grace came because it was like the biggest camp in the city. These dudes put on a show, dog. You would have thought these dudes was part of the circus. This was the team with the ladder, bro. They had a ladder. They had teenagers. They had people coming from like through the crowd. They had like kids getting trapped. They was like, oh no, it's a fire. They had people playing as the firefighters. They saved a dog. Like they had Dynamite by Tayo Cruz playing. Their joint was legit. We were like, yo, they won. They won for sure, bro. Like they was getting a standing ovation at the end. Their joint was crazy. It was like 10 minutes of straight. Like I don't even know how they pulled that off. I don't even know how they rehearsed that every day. That joint, wow. So our our fears were conquered that day because we were like, no, we ain't getting first. We was about to sabotage ourselves at the last minute. Then finally it's our turn to go up. We do our play. I don't think a single person clapped, honestly. I think it was like those claps where it's like you want to be polite, but it sounds mad light because no one cares. So instead of being like an applause, it's like it was like that. So we do it. We're like, yeah, it was trash. Let's go back. Boom, 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 boom. Then we all get in the van. The counselor's like, you guys didn't win, but one of the people liked your play so much that they want us to come and perform it at the senior home. What? She talked about something. Yeah, you guys got second place. What? So now we gotta take a trip to a senior home the next day and perform the play. And you know what? You wouldn't think that would be that bad. Well, we walked into the senior home and they looked at us like they didn't know what was happening. Like it was, I don't know who she lied to or who she claimed lied about that, but it was very clear that no one in the senior home requested us to be there because not a single person knew who we were. Like everyone was like, "Who are these people? What's happening? I don't understand." They were looking at us so confused. Then we do this trash play again, and they didn't even clap. Like there wasn't even no light clap. It was just silence. And I had to sit next to one of the old people. He was talking about some. Do you know what's happening? And I'm like, a summer camp came to perform a play about fire safety. He looked and said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know, man." I had to tell him I ain't know. Cause I ain't know who requested it. I ain't know nothing. I don't even think I genuinely don't think that was a request. I think she just lied and got us broke into an old person's home because we were supposed to go on trips every week. We ain't going no trips. Well, we went on that trip. We went on that trip. We performed the play the first time, and we went to Smith Playground at one point. It was chilling. You know how that go. So that was that. We got paid, blah 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 blah. And the worst part is after the camp was over, I learned I met someone and they were like, "Oh, you did work ready? Did you go to Six Flags at the end of the year?" I'm like, "Six Flags at the end of the summer?" I'm like, "Six Flags?" They're like, "Yeah, every camp was supposed to go to Six Flags. The money from all the kids, part of the money from all the kids being there, y'all were supposed to go to Six Flags." I said, "Six Flags? We ain't go to no Six Flags." They're like, "Well, what happened with all the money?" I'm like, "Bro, we had four kids. You only had four kids?" Yeah. Oh, y'all wasn't going to Six Flags. See, talking about some every other camp with the Six Flags except for ours. I'm like, yo, I was so mad. I said, I'm never working for these people again. So yeah, that was my very bad experience with my first two jobs. They were horrible. Um, that's gonna be it for me for this first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check in next week for the next episode.